Hi guys, this is Gerard from Shiftinglands.com, and in this video I'm going to shift and shape with the Shapeshifter. Well, the Shapeshifter is an add-on tool for your Proxxon hot wire foam cutter. It is a very complex tool. It comes as a building kit. It has a lot of parts. You have to build it yourself. Well, that's not the difficult part, but working with it, that can be quite a challenge. So I would like to go over the tool, explain how you build it up and how it works. But before all that, let's take a look at some of the shapes I've made so far with this tool. Well, here you have a nice shot of a selection of shapes I made so far with the Shapeshifter tool. Now mind you, what you see over here is a selection of shapes. I've made a lot more shapes, different kind of shapes, and I still keep exploring and discovering new shapes, and the list goes on and on. But just a quick overview. So we have, for instance, we have all kinds of Zeppelin shaped shapes, bulky ones, slim ones. We have more oriental shaped spires. I already transformed one of these spires into a wooden onion shaped spire. We have stairways, very small ones, more, well, Renaissance, Gothic, I'm not sure. We have very spiky, sharp ones. Bridges, yes, we also have bridges, and some other fun shapes. Not sure what they are, but they look cool. So as I said, this is a quick overview of the shapes I've made so far with this tool. Well, here we have the basic setup of the Shapeshifter tool, and as you can see, it's a large tool. It's even larger than the work surface of the Proxxon itself. It sticks out in front, but it's very stable. It has two pillars underneath, so it cannot move, it cannot wobble. On the left side we have the so-called switchboard. This is the area where we pin down templates. These templates will be traced, and by tracing the templates I will cut a block of foam. Now the cutting itself is on the right side of the tool, and that's the area where also the main fence is. Now the main fence can move back and forth, left to right, so I can make all kinds of movements with the fence. The fence has to communicate with a template. Now I have a template over here. The tool comes with a whole set of templates. I can position this template somewhere on the switchboard. I pin it down, it's stuck there, and now the fence can read the shape, and actually not the fence is reading the shape, but the little thing in between, which is this little thing, and which is called the tracer. The tracer is an element that I stick on to the far end of the fence, and the little wheel on the far end of this tracer now reads the shape, and the fence is moving accordingly. Okay, so with the template in place, with the tracer working, all I have to do now is to attach a block of foam and start cutting. There are two ways that you can cut with the Shapeshifter. The first option I will briefly explain. I will not show it, but that's simply by placing a block of foam in front of the fence, running a screw through the fence. There are tiny holes where the screws that also comes with the tool fit in, and you can lock the block into position. If you want more stability, you work with larger blocks of foam. You can also add a side fence in order to create an angle or a corner where you can lock your block of foam for more stability. In its position you can run screws through the side or through the rear fence and you can start cutting. This way of using the tool is best suited for cutting only shapes on one side, for cutting stairways with the so-called stairway template, or maybe if you want to cut a bridge with the bridge template, then this is the way to go. Another way to cut with this tool is to do this using the wooden discs. We have with the tool 3 wooden discs. We have the pentagon, the octagon and the hexagon. These discs can be attached on the fence, but before we do that you have to add a block of foam onto a disc, and in this case you see the 6-sided disc already has a block of foam attached to it. So all I have to do now is to add this disc with the block onto the fence, lock it with a wing nut, use my wooden key to lock it into position, and then I can start cutting. So let's just do that. It's very important that everything has to be aligned well. Well, I already checked and that's the case. So without further ado, I can start cutting right away. So the key locks the template in position. It cannot rotate. If I remove the key, it rotates. If I put the key in, it cannot rotate. This is vital because we have the hexagon, so every side, if you lock it into the right position, you get a perfect symmetrical shape. Okay, there we go. Power is on. One hand on the fence, one hand on the far end of the tracer. The focus is on the shape. Following the tracer and focusing on the template. I don't have to focus on the foam itself. That is simply doing its work. And we already have our first cut. I take out the wooden key, go for the next side, turn the power on, and off we go. Haste is not an option. Just go with the flow. Don't try to rush it. If you rush it, your wire might break, your wire will bend, and you might end up with irregular shapes. With the tool comes quite a large selection of templates, and all templates are double-sided, and by simply changing the position of the templates on the switchboard, by rotating them, by making adjustments on the tracer, you can make a lot of different shapes using one and the same template. And there you go, a perfect 6-sided onion shape spire. It looks lovely. Until next time, bye bye.